Welcome to Sportsbet Daily, and it's for oddsmarket.com. We're doing the lower league show. We went 2-2 last week, but you make money if you did the individuals because every selection had value. It was over 2. Obviously, the lower leagues, or my lower leagues partner, is going to be Dave. Dave, how are you, sir? How was last week?
I'm good, buddy. Do you know what? The weekend was great. I think I went 6-2 with a bunch of plus money. The 6 that won were all plus money, all the way up to 2.20. So yeah, it was real good. Sorry, 3.20, not 2.20. And then obviously we had the midweek selections, and it didn't go so well on the first day. I went 0-3, so I lost them 3. There was them draws, West Brom letting me down, annoying, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean,
no goal as well.
How did you like? Did you get involved with the Swindon at Grimsby at 2.25?
I'm too slow, Flash. I missed it. Didn't plan my day out properly. Didn't get my bets down properly. Couldn't tell ya. But luckily, the following day, the Wednesday, I hit the draw and cashed another 2.40. So that gave me a couple units back. So it didn't end all bad. Overall, if you follow each tip, still in profit from the week altogether with both fixtures combined. And I'm just happy to delve into this week's games because they're just the fixture list overall just looks just more pleasing from a betting perspective for me.
Yeah, I've actually got my normal 4 selections, and 2 of them are under plus 100 or under even money, which is very unlike me. But let's kick off with your selections, and there you go into that minefield of the Championship again.
Yeah, it is a minefield, but I'm happy to fade those teams. You always get them teams that just do terrible, and this week we have one up, which is Luton. Now Preston. They're away to Preston. Preston were doing great, looking like title contenders at one point, and then not so long ago, 5 weeks back, they went on a 4-game skid and they didn't pick up any points. It started to look bad for them until this week, and they smashed Fulham, and they're back on form. Yeah, Alex Neil's men doing great once again, and now they're back at home again, and now they're facing Luton, who, if you do follow the Championship, you know what's going on with the Hatters. They're right near that relegation zone, 3 points away from Stoke. They lost to Stoke 3-0 in the week. So that just goes to show where Luton are performing right now, and it's pretty low down on the table. So when it's all said and done here, Flash, I think this is just 2 calibre teams. Preston had a bit of a blip. I think they're going to be back on form this weekend. Obviously, the line is going to reflect that. If you go and look for a price now, I think you can get from 1.7. You may be able to get 1.8 if you're lucky on the straight win. So I had to delve a bit deeper. Obviously, if you follow my tips, you know I love a combined goal market with the win. So Preston, my first tip this week is going to be Preston to win and over 1 point goals. And at Coral, you can get that for the evens dead on. 2.0 on the decimal, plus 100 on the American. As a final thought, Preston have won 8 of their 11 games at Deepdale this season. Preston coming off a win midweek. Luton are fighting relegation, and they're 3 points outside that drop zone. And also, Luton have lost 6 games in a row now, and 9 away from home this season. So, if that doesn't justify the bet enough yet, I don't know what will.
Okay, I don't know if you're going to be happy, but the first leg of my 4-team accumulator on my parlay is Preston to beat Luton at 1.77. But I'll go through mine a little bit later on. Next one for you, please, Dave.
That's no problem, Fred. Look, if we're on the same side, that's just more reason for people to go and back the play. So, yeah, the second play for me, I'm going to go to the best team in the league, in my opinion. Yes, I know West Brom are battling with them for the league, but, you know, when I watch West Brom on the road, even through their victories, some of them have been real lucky, and I just don't see the same team that I see in Leeds. Leeds could be in the Premier League right now, and they'd be doing pretty well, like Sheffield United, in my opinion. Look, it's no surprise again. Leeds won midweek. Leeds won at the weekend. Leeds have just been winning, and they continue winning. Now they're back at home against the Cardiff side, who I guess their fortunes did turn around since the hiring of Neil Harris. He's gone 4 games now undefeated until they played Brentford this week, and yeah, it just became apparent to me that the defence is still poor at Cardiff no matter when they get a win. They're not functioning at the back. I'm not sure why. I can't put my finger on it, but they've conceded 20 goals this season, which is I think is one of the second worst in the division. I think only Luton is the only other side who has conceded more goals on the road this season. On top of that, they're the worst team in the league for registered shots on target. So conceded. So they concede the most shots on target. It's not good for them. If you concede the most shots on target and you're coming up against a Leeds team who is excellent, but it's hard to fault Leeds right now. 10 games without defeat. What can you say? 16 goals across their 8 previous wins. Just so impressive. So it's gonna be, I'm just riding the Leeds train here, and fading a Cardiff team who are not awful. They have flipped their script, but not against Leeds. It's not going to happen. Leeds top of the league, 46 points, clear by 11. Sorry, Cardiff have don't hold me to this, but I think it's the second worst away record in the entire division. Leeds have only conceded 2 goals in their past 6 games, and Cardiff have conceded 20 plus goals away from home. Is there any more reason to back Leeds here? I don't think so. Once again, sticky odds, some of the worst odds, because they're the best team in the league. So it's going to happen. I have to combine the goals market. This one is a bit risky, but we're going to get evens on it, and it's Leeds to win and under 3.5 goals. I think Leeds win 2-0 or 3-0. I don't think Cardiff get a look in. As soon as Leeds go up, I think I took Leeds half-time, full-time last week. It bit me in the butt. They came back out in the second half and won 2-0. I thought, earlier on in the season, that was a bet I never would have made half-time, full-time, because Leeds they were playing very tight and keeping it to 1 and 2-0. But over the past 10 games, they've been banging the goals. The goals have been coming left, right, and centre. But I just think now in a game like this, they'll take the lead, 1-0, 2-0, and they'll sit back and fall back and maybe get an extra one towards the end. So I predict a 2-0 or 3-0 from Leeds. So for that reason, I'll be taking Leeds win and under 3.5 goals for 2.00 on the decimal plus 100, and that's also with Coral as well.
Well, there's a couple of things I'd like to say on this game. And first of all, it's about Cardiff. They've got a forward-thinking manager, which obviously when you try and get a side to go forward as much, you leave your defence isolated because people overcommit because they're trying to take what the manager's said too literally. Now, you look at the Leeds side, and for the last 2 years since Bielsa's taken over, they've been a possession team. They tire their opponents out and they score and they keep going right up until the 95th minute. So the problem you've got is with Leeds is that they don't take their foot off the gas. So there's going to be late goals that are going to kill you if you've gone on the under. I think this weekend it's one of those for me. I think if you've not been on the Leeds train, then don't get on it. But if you have been on it, then just
keep riding.
Yeah, keep riding it. What's your next one, mate?
We have, they were my 2 main plays. So the next one is QPR win. In fact, let me just give you my 3 remain. I've got 3 remaining championship bets left. We've got QPR to win versus Barnsley at 2.50 plus 150. I've got Derby versus Millwall draw at 3.20 plus 220. And then I've got Stoke to beat Reading at 2.05 plus 105. And it's pretty self-explanatory really for those games. Stoke are on the up. I think they're going to continue that. They need 3 points now to get level with Luton, and I think they can take them over on an aggregate in the league scoring. So and at a price of 2.05 at home for a Stoke team that have turned it round. I mean, people will look at the table flash, these handicappers who handicap by stats and what's going on in front of them, and they're going to see a Stoke side at the bottom and think, oh, let's write these off. But Stoke have turned it around, and Yeah, I don't see Reading causing them too many problems at home. I think they'll take the full 3 points here for 2.05. Can't really go wrong on that. Derby Millwall. I've tried. I feel like every time I try to fade Millwall, they just come and slap me right in the face. They're outseeding expectations. That's all I can say.
Well, you're a very
Such a
greedy
strong
man,
squad.
Dave. You're a very greedy man because you went Millwall Forest draw, and I'm sure it ended 2-2, and you picked up.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I've picked up. I'll continue picking up draws for the rest of the season. People ignore the draws. We could go on Twitter. We can look at all these amazing soccer cappers, and how many of them will pick a draw? None of them have got the bottle to pick a draw, Flash. I think it's
And it's
just
a
me and
live
you that pick
score.
draws.
I've said it for the last 3 years on Odds Market. If you can't split them, the draw is live. And also, if you've got a team who doesn't score goals but is good defensively, you bet the draw at around plus 220 up to 250. You cash out with 10, 12 minutes to go. You put the money in your pocket and you don't care if there's a late goal that would normally come and kill you.
Exactly. So what am I going to do here? We've got Derby. God, they draw a lot. And we've got Millwall, who also draw a lot. They win at home, but they just keep drawing. I don't even think we'll see goals, Flash. I think this could be just a straight 0-0. Yeah, Millwall are unbeaten in 6 matches. I don't think Derby are going to come through and be that team to do it. They're just not functioning right. I still don't know what's going on with Derby. Still can't pinpoint the problems at that club. But Wayne Rooney is not going to be happy stepping into Derby in the position there, and hopefully he can help them out in January, bring some of his expertise along. But under Rowett, Mill just continue doing stuff to prove people wrong. And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna back against Mill, but I'll definitely take a bit of that draw because both of these squads love a draw, and the odds are great. And we see just as many draws as we do wins and losses. Look, guys, it's not just win and loss. This is not we don't have OT. It's not basketball. It's not American football. You can draw a game over here, and when you pick them odds, by the end of the season, you don't have to land that many draws. Bulk your units up, your end of season units up, and this is another perfect spot for me. I think I've hit a draw now 3 weeks in a row on this show, and yeah, it'll be Derby Millwall draw for me this week.
Well, if you watched the Premier League punters this week, I went for another couple of draws. I think I went for Burnley and Newcastle draw. And I think I've got another draw in there as well that I'm expecting, but maybe I went with the under 2.5 goals with Palace and Brighton. But I'll give you my 4 for this week for the lower league parlay. You know, we do, I'm going to have one banker, one single bet, and I'm going to put the other 3 together to make it 4. And it pays about 15, but we'll go through that. So it's Preston to beat Luton at 1.77. We've gone through that. I've got Preston. Squad size was the reason for the blip for me. But they're at home. They're at Deepdale, where they are a match for anybody in this league. Luton cannot keep clean sheets. I see Preston being far too strong. Then we've got perennial underachievers in the last 6 to 7 weeks, and that's Ipswich at home to a Bristol Rovers team who really are so inconsistent. Ipswich are due to get a win back under their belts. They're not really letting many goals in, but they're not scoring either. They've had too many draws, but I see them winning at a massive 1.9. Earlier on in the year, they'd have been like 4 to 7. Now, there's my banker. Wow. Carl Robinson takes his Oxford side to MK Dons. Obviously, we know about the history with the MK Dons and Carl Robinson. But this Oxford side are light years ahead of Paul Tisdale's MK Dons. And we've got Oxford at 2. Cannot believe it. That's my banker, Oxford, to go to the MK Dons and win.
You got them at 2. Sorry, Flash. You got them at 2.
Yeah, Oxford versus MK Dons is at 2 on Odds Checker. Well, it was this morning.
I gave on my article. I have the 2 main plays, and then I'll give out the rest of my plays. One of my plays is Oxford to win. But yeah. I've got them at 1.95. So
okay, well, yeah, you can get 2 now. And here's the other one, and this has moved in our favour as well. When I wrote this up yesterday morning, Carlisle to beat Grimsby was at 2.37. I go and have a look this morning, and it's now 2.5. Grimsby scored 1 goal in the last 5 games. Carlisle, probably one of the worst places to go to. So you go in there, Carlisle, no great shakes, but at 2.5 for a home side against a side who cannot score goals is just too big. I wouldn't put anyone off just doing a single on Carlisle to beat Grimsby. And if you want to take really skinny odds, you go Carlisle double chance, because I don't see him getting beat. And if you are going to do a double chance, why don't you just do Carlisle to win at 2.5? And under 1.5 in the game, because I don't see both these teams scoring. So Carlisle to beat Grimsby at 2.5. And that parlay pays around 15.
Ooh,
We quite like that.
Perfect for me.
Yeah.
Straight up, both plays totally agree with. All plays I totally agree with. Ipswich, they were doing great, and the form. Listen, sometimes teams just fall out of form and it will come back. I see Ipswich being one of them sides. I think Bristol are not too bad away, but
well, they're organised.
I don't think they're.
Yeah, basically they're organised. But they're not going to go there, and they're not going to put up 2 or 3 goals.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see this being 2-0, 2-1, and if Ipswich get ahead of steam, or like London buses, you wait for 1 and 2 and 3 come along at the same time. Dave, have a great weekend. Put on a great show tomorrow, UFC 245 in Las Vegas, an unbelievable card. I know you've capped it. I know I'm going to cross-reference now, but Team Liveline, you are my boys, so go on and have a cracking weekend, and thanks, mate, for your time.
Thank you, Flash. It's been a pleasure as always, and yeah, you have a great weekend, and tomorrow I'm so excited for tomorrow. It's actually ridiculous. I can't contain myself. I actually don't care too much about bets or anything. I love this sport. I've been watching this sport for 20 years, and tomorrow is going to be one of the best events I will probably witness. So make sure you tune into the live line. Follow me on Twitter, follow Flash on Twitter, or follow Jay or Odds Market Twitter, SBR's Twitter, to get all the information, the links that you'll need for the weekend. And yeah, everyone have a great weekend, and thank you for your time.
Cheers, Dave. You take care. So that's Dave and I going through the lower leagues this weekend. He loves Leeds to continue bowling along, getting the points, home or away. Preston to beat Luton at 1.77. Ipswich to beat Bristol Rovers at 1.9. Oxford to go to MK Dons at 2. And Carlisle to beat goalless Grimsby at 2.5. The parlay's 15. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week.